What's up? We're back again, and we're continuing chapter 6, The Hidden Motives to Survive. And the next statement of this summary is they are the hidden motives to survive. They are an ingrained set of habitual thought processes as a way to stay alive. So, for example, you have external limiting forces, which is your family, social, cultural, and environmental conditioning. Okay. Social conditioning is women have to stay home and take care of the kids, right? And then you have your internal limiting forces, which are your HMSs, okay? So it's bad enough you're already dealing with external limiting forces in your life that's pushing on you from the outside to make you go live a specific way and make you think a certain way. You also have internal limiting forces, which are the hidden motives to survive, that put pressure on you from the outward. So all this pressure, you're really turning into a diamond, which goes to show why those who learn to overcome these things really become something out of life, because pressure does make diamonds. Now, at the same thought of this, with that same thought process taken with that, you also must be patient with yourself and happy with yourself in the position you are currently in right now. Because even if you're in somewhere that you're not satisfied with, be grateful that you you legit are dealing with something great on your hands. All these forces on you. I wouldn't be surprised if I looked at someone and found out that they had all these things pushing on them, why they're not where they ideally need to be at yet. Okay, that's understandable, um, and that's okay. So this gives you the ability. All this knowledge gives you the ability to not only have more respect for those who have made it, but also to have more empathy and compassion for yourself, because now you really truly understand what you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis on this journey to becoming enlightened and feeling true happiness and seeing your vision come to fruition in the physical realm and not just in the mental realm. Seeing the hidden motives to survive gives you an advantage. And that is a subtitle from chapter 6 and a perfect segue from my last previous point. Um, Once you have internalized and understand the HMSs, you will now be able to observe the quality of consciousness people. Mm. Once you are no longer distracted by your mind's planning, ruminating, forecasting, strategizing, replaying, moping, and problem solving, you start to become more present and notice a subtle energy coming from other people. How deep is that? So basically, when your mind becomes quiet and you're no longer doing the ruminating, you're no longer doing the forecasting a negative projection, you're no longer strategizing in your head, you're no longer replaying past scenarios that happen or past conversations that you feel like you said something wrong in or whatever the case may be. You start to be more present, because if you're not focused on the past and you can't tell the future, what else is there? The now. When you're focused and zoned in on the now, knowing what you now know about the HMSs and how they work on people, you start to become more attentive to the energy coming off of the people around you. And you start to see what kind of HMSs they might be going through. And if you see what HMSs they're going through, it allows you to not only maybe relate, because you might be expressing the same HMSs that they do, but if not, you're able to see which HMSs they're going through and then be able to put yourself in that position and relate to them on a better position. And when you relate to people, it causes better communication. And if you're in sales, it causes for more income for you and growing your business. When you notice some when you notice someone being influenced by the HMSs, you can see things from their perspective. And that leads to better communication levels, like we just spoke about. Always have compassion that others are doing their best given the context they are operating inside of. Wow, that is the most impactful, for me personally, the most impactful benefit I see from the HMSs, from understanding the HMSs and why it motivates me to understand these things so much better, because it allows me to now have compassion for others, that they're doing the best given that the context, the film, the filter they choose to look at life from. So this is the filter, this is their eyes. When they look out and they absorb things, and then they absorb the outside and the scenarios that's happening to them and that they're causing, when it comes back to them to now process it back in their brain, it's always going through this filter, which is usually, you know, influenced by the HMSs that they're experiencing. And it allows me to not hate them. It allows me to not feel like I'm at differences with certain people or specific others because I'm feeling like they're crazy or they're weird or what the hell, what life did you guys have growing up? It allows me to be compassionate with them and say, hey, listen, they're doing the best. We all want the same thing. Okay, we all want the best for ourselves, our family, our lifestyle. And given I'm understanding the filter that they're seeing life from, or I'm getting a better picture of how they're seeing life, I could become them for a moment and put myself in their shoes. And this allows me to become curious about them. This allows me to form connections with them. And this allows me to network with them, which can ultimately get me into or out of any situation. Ideally, the more people I know, the more chance I have of having that benefit on my side. Whenever a HMS is present, it triggers the drunk monkey. Deep to know, okay? Because once you understand the HMSs, and then it allows you to be able to trigger awareness of the drunk monkey in so many different aspects. You can trigger the awareness by hearing the drunk monkey talk to you. You can trigger your drunk monkey awareness by seeing that you're expressing or you're about to express a hidden motive to survive that you know is not in your favor. Okay, then you could just instantly stop and go, wait, this is the drunk monkey, and start working from there on how to get back into an enlightened perspective. Key perspective takeaway. How you see something either creates a moving toward or a moving away response. Aim to focus on context. Wow, how powerful. How you see something either creates a moving toward or a moving away response. Let's think about that. Perfect example, mainly all of us can relate to, is first responders. Okay, a lot of people, including myself, would go, wait, there's about to be a war going on. Wait, there's about to be a mass influx of injured people happening, sick people happening in my area. I'm good. I'll be home. I'll pass. Let me know when this is over. I'll be chilling. Okay, I'm not one to want to be moving in that direction because my perspective on the situation is I don't want to get sick. Okay, and I'm not fighting no one's fight. I barely fight my own fights, let alone fight someone else's fight. Let's be honest here, right? So how you seeing something creates the effect of either moving away or moving toward. Clearly, my context, my perspective on these situations is me moving away. Now, on the other hand, you have first responders, right? If there's a huge influx of people getting injured or sick, who do you have? Nurses, doctors, the EMS, okay, etc., etc. If you have, war going on, who do you have? Army men. And even in the army, you got frontline men. So you have the front of the fronts. And clearly something's making them move toward the same situations that I'm moving away from, okay? And based off of Quiet Mind's Epic Life, how you see something either creates a moving toward or moving away response. Clearly the perspective, the recontextualization they have on the situation, these first responders, is something along the lines of maybe, and I've heard it myself, my dad was in the army and he fought hard for my country so I can be free. It's the least I can do to return the favor, to make sure that my kids are free, to make sure that my countrymen are free. Wow, how powerful is that? A perspective like that, shit, if I adopted that and I believed in it myself, I would be moving towards the freaking fight. Okay, if I was a firefighter and I had that context, I would be moving towards the fire. Okay, clearly the context I have now that I believe in, that I choose to adopt, is my ass is going the other way. Okay, and I'm calling them for the help. But that just goes to show you, you want to aim to focus on the context. View the situation, focus on the context. How do you see this? Okay, are you going to choose to look at things in your life, such as prospecting for business, from the point of view of, from the context of someone like a firefighter, like an army man? It's my duty, okay? Um, I'm excited to see how the seller will react to put me in a position to then test out how I will react with them because I'm confident in my responses, okay? Or are you going to say, they might reject me. I might get a no again. I might be pointless. I might feel like I prospected for 3 hours today and wasted my time. And I'm still going to be broke. Wasted 3 hours and I'm broke. Okay? It's all about your perspective. And clearly the ladder I just described, okay, um, is something that creates you wanting to move away from it. Whereas if you looked at it as if it's your duty and you're confident in your abilities to always respond correctly, it will, and there's a potential that you can make XYZ commission and you feel great about it, chances are you're going to move towards that situation. You can become a master at being able to control your drunk monkey and discipline your thoughts slash repress your drunk monkey and tell it you're in control. Yet, there will always be something underneath the drunk monkey that is triggering it subconsciously. I can vouch for that, 10 times over. This is the reason why I even stumbled across this book. This is the reason why I'm even so passionate about this book, amongst other books as well. But this book I've been obsessed with it recently, to be honest. And it's because I've been on this journey looking for enlightenment, looking for unleashing the full potential of my mind and my attitude. And I'm realizing these thoughts. I always knew I had these thoughts in my head for a while. The drunk monkey, the hidden motives to survive. I couldn't put my thumb on it, but I was able to create other ways of what I thought was eliminating these barriers from allowing me to accomplish things holding me back. But what I realized is every time I got to the next level, every time something became bigger, these things came back. Anytime I was facing any kind of potential uncomfortability, these things flared up like a freaking someone, hitting your elbow or your knee, a doctor hitting your knee with that freaking hammer. Your knee just buckles and it goes up. As soon as I hit something uncomfortable, I came to a point in my business where it was uncertainty. Just like that, my reflexes triggered and my thoughts, my drunk monkey came back. And a lot of times it would stay there for a while, causing me to go in slumps and just feel out. And I knew the path I was on was not the win all, okay? And it was not going to get me to where I need to be to unlock my true vision, my potential. The drunk monkey is a part of something deeper. And this is what I knew. The root of it all is the hidden motives to survive, the HMSs. That is the root. Once a HMS is triggered, it's almost like you are a zombie or in autopilot mode. And your brain is taken for a drift. Your actions are completely contrary to your vision, and your thoughts are tactfully controlling you to make sense of it all. This is so intense, this information. Let me read it again. Once a HMS is triggered, it's almost like you're in zombie slash autopilot mode. And your brain is taken adrift. Your actions are completely contrary to your vision. Your thoughts are tactfully controlling you to make sense of it all. I've come across so many books that talked about this phenomena, but never broke it down and allowed me to understand the context of it in a way this book has. Perfect example, Napoleon Hill. Think the author of Outwitting the Devil, I believe, as well as Think and Grow Rich. But another book he's not known for as much is Outwitting the Devil, which is a great book. I recommend everyone read it. They consider this phenomena as being called drifting. Moving away, and they describe it as moving towards the sins that the devil promotes. However, this book puts it in such a way better understanding, because that the HMSs now are the things controlling you, pinning you in this autopilot mode. Okay, for a lot of people, you tell yourself you're gonna go prospect when 3 o'clock hits, but when 3 o'clock hits every day, you're probably talking with friends. You're probably on your computer checking emails instead. You're probably watching Netflix, whatever the case may be. And this is clearly an action that moves you away, not towards your goals. So it makes you think, obviously I'm not stupid. Why the hell am I taking these actions when I clearly know day after day it's not in my benefit? It's because your HMSs are being triggered, and it's causing your brain to not only go into autopilot mode, to make you go into autopilot mode, but also it's putting that filter on you. So your situation, the filter. The situation, your filter. And this filter is seeping into your thoughts as well. It's taking control of every part of your internal, and it's allowing you to make sense of the negative actions you're doing. So you see it as if it's beneficial to you. So that's why you always get mad at yourself after the fact. But when you're going through it, you're just like, you're not crushing yourself. You're not devastated over it. It's just happening. Even for people like alcoholics or people who can't stop doing drugs. All right, let me just do this once. Let me just go buy this bottle. You're justifying it. Notice it yourself. Become aware of every time you're falling into a negative loop that you're about to walk into, but you keep doing it anyway. Notice the thoughts you're having right before you take that action. Your thoughts are justifying why it's necessary or why it's acceptable to do X, Y, Z, even though it's not, but you only realize this after the fact when you're feeling guilty or showing resentment to yourself. Okay, in the next, we're going to cut it short again. In the next breakdown, we're going to break down what you guys want to know, the 10 hidden motives to survive. See you in the next video. Peace.